Hello, this is Ben Academy. Welcome to this Python tutorial series for beginners, lesson 3. In this series, we will learn Python step by step in a simple and practical way using Jupyter Notebook as our main environment. If you have no prior programming experience, don't worry. This course is designed to start from the basics and gradually build your understanding. In this video, we're going to write our very fast Python script and learn some essential concepts like functions, variables, assignment, and data types. Let's get started. This is a Jupyter environment, and now we have a cell. We can write our codes inside the cell. I'm going to write the first function you may learn in every programming language, and it's print. I will describe the syntax I'm writing here, and I will tell what I'm writing actually. Okay, it's the simplest command we used to use for learning the first script you may learn in every language. Now let's run the cell with this icon. You can see that the output is written here, and the output is actually the same text I wrote inside the parentheses in the function. Now let's understand what just happened. The word print here is what we call a function. A function performs a specific task, in this case displaying something on the screen, as you can see. Inside the brackets, we have a text with double quotations, and this is called an argument. The values inside the brackets are called arguments. An argument is simply the information we pass to a function so it can do its job. So here we are telling Python to print a text for us. Now let's move to one of the most important concepts in programming, that is variables. Variables are used to store data so we can reuse it later. In Python, we assign values to variables using the assignment operators. Assignment operators in Python is equal sign. For example, I can write a variable like this with the name of message, and if I write an equal sign and then something like this, the same text I wrote inside the brackets for print function, now we can say that the message is a variable, and using the equal sign, that is assignment operator, the value is assigned to a variable. Now I can use the variable with a function print, and instead of writing the text that was the argument for the function in the previous cell, I can write a variable. So if I run it, you can see the same output is available here. So instead of writing the arguments instantly directly inside the function parentheses, I used a variable and I assigned a value to the variable using assignment operator, that is actually the equal sign. In writing the scripts is optional, but you can use some spaces to make your text more visible and see the comments in a better way. So I can add a space before equal sign and also after that. So now assignment operator is visible in a better way. If I again run it, you can see that the output is the same and nothing is changed. There are actually different ways to assign a value to a variable in Python. I will introduce them to you. The first one is to assign a constant value. For example, if you write something like this, x equal to 10, now I have assigned a constant as 10 to a variable as x. The second way to assign a value to a variable is to assign a value with the calculations. For example, if in a new cell I write something like this, a equals sign 5 and also b equals 4. These are the assignments with a constant value that I introduced to you. And if I write something like this, result equals a plus b, result is a new variable that is obtained with a calculation. So it's the second way to assign a value to a variable. And now if I print it, you can see that the result will be printed after running this cell, and it's a result of a plus b. This shows why variables are useful. We can store and reuse the results for later. The third way is to assigning value with functions. So if I write something like this in a new cell, length is a new variable, equals len, that is a function to calculate the length of a string, and I write the string inside the bracket like this, Python. This function calculates the length of the text, so we can count it. Python have 6 letters, so the length of this string is 6. And if I print it, you can see that 6 is the result of this cell. The fourth method is assigning a value using user input, and it's the interactive way to assign a value to a variable. So if I write something like this, for example, name is a new variable I want to define, input, brackets, and double quotation, enter your name. After printing this text on the screen, the user should enter something because the input function is defined as this. And if you don't enter anything, the script will be stopped, and it will be continued after entering any text in the screen. So now, if I print hello and then add the name you have entered like this, the system will enter something like this. You can see here that it needs you to write something in this field. So if I write a name like this and then enter, you can see that it's written hello Ben, and it's a interactive way to define and to assign a value for a variable. Now let's talk about the types of the variables. In many programming languages, you must define the type of a variable before using it. And when you are defining the variable, you should say to the language that what's the type of that variable. But in Python, it's not necessary to do this. Python is different, and Python is dynamically typed language. So that means Python automatically understands the type of data you assign according to the value you will enter in the text. So let's see some examples in the new cell. You can see if I write something like this, x equals 10 and y equals 3.14, or another variable like this, name equals Ben, and another variable like is valid equals true. I will say what's the difference between these variables. The first variable, you can see that is an integer value, so the variable type is integer. The second one is a real value, and the type of this variable, variable y, is float. The third one is a text, so the type of this variable is string. And the fourth one is a true-false conditional variable that we name it as Boolean. So if I print the types of different variables, you can see them. Print, bracket, type, again bracket, and x. Let me copy this line and paste it because I needed some in some other lines too. X, y, name, and also is valid. Okay, if I run this cell, you can see that the first item here is related to the first variable, so you can see that it's int as integer. The second one is float. The third one is string, and a bool means boolean, that is related to the conditions like true and false. So the types of each variable is detected and recognized according to the values you have entered and you have specified. So it's not necessary to define the type of variable. And the interesting point in Python is that you can also change the type of a variable if you enter a new type of value in the variable. For example, if I write x equals 10, and then if I write x equals a string value like hello, now if I print the type of this variable, you can see that it is a string because it's changed after writing a new line. So first it was an integer variable, then after writing a text in x, now it's changed to a string variable. This flexibility makes Python very beginner-friendly language. Let's also look at how we can print multiple values with print function. If I write something like this, name equals Ben, and then age equals 30. And now if I print them with a single function like this, name, and then with a comma, I can write the variable I have defined. So I can add a string directly and then add a variable again. I can also use some spaces before and after every variable and text to make them visible in a better way. So you can now distinguish the 4 items here. The first one is a string that is not a variable, it's just a string as an argument of the function. And another argument in the function is a variable. And third one is a string, and fourth one is another variable. So now I can print these 4 items with single print functions. If I run it, you can see that here it's written name Ben, age 30, as I introduced to the function. A quick but important point here is that equal sign here is used for assignments, not for comparison. If you want to check if 2 values are equal, you should use double equal signs, not only one. Let's show you with an example. If I write x equals 10, If I want to check and write print x double equals 10, so this double equal sign is comparison operator and compare two sides of that operator. It means that if x equals to 10, it gives you an output as true, but if it's not equal to 10, it gives you false. So let me write another function to make it different. For example, if I write a different value like this, so it's now false, but the first one is true. Let's check it with run. I can see that, yes, the first one is true and second one is false. The last point in this lesson is how to name variables. You cannot start with numbers like this for writing a variable name. It's illegal in Python. And you cannot use spaces. For example, name, surname. You can, instead of space, add an underline like this. And you can replace the number and move it to a place after the characters like this with an underline. Dash is also forbidden because dash used for minus operator, and it's illegal to use it as name of the variable, and it may cause some problems and confusions. Finally, I want to mention two of the advantages of Jupyter Notebook, as you could see during this lesson. One is that I could write separate codes, separate scripts in different cells, and I could run different scripts separately, and you could see that results were written after the cell, and so they are completely separate. The variables with similar names were defined in separate cells. Every cell is independent. So for a tutorial and for the beginners, it's really useful. One another advantage of Jupyter Notebook was that you could see if I write a bracket, the bracket will be closed automatically. In some cases and in some platforms, you should write the closed bracket by your own. And if I write the double quotation, you can see that the second double quotation is also written automatically. Moreover, you can see that the colors are of different variables, assignment operators, and string values or numeric values are different, so you can find different items quickly. Okay, thanks for watching this video. In the next video, we will continue scripting with more details. Stay tuned, and don't forget to like and subscribe to not lose any lesson of this tutorial and also the other tutorials in our channel. If you have any question, you can write your questions as comments below this video. See you in other videos.